صلى الله وسلم على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Inshallah, as promised, we will start the new topic, fasting. As-Sawm is the next topic in terms of our Islamic laws, the discussion on Islamic laws. The subject or the concept of fasting was made mandatory upon Muslims during the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the format that it is known today, the month of Ramadan and fasting from the break of dawn until the time of sunset. Sunset being determined, and this is important to keep in mind, the determination of sunset, whether it is scientifically determining that the sun is below the horizon, or is it by looking at the reflection of the sun in the east. Because the sun goes below the horizon in the west. How do we determine that it's gone below the horizon if we're not at sea level, if we cannot see the sun? So the definition of sunset, because some people ask me, why do we have Maghrib and sunset? Maghrib is Maghrib. Maghrib is the time of sunset, the time of ghurub. However, when is Maghrib? Is it the scientific sunset, or is it the time where the reflection of the sun is no longer in the east? According to the hadith, when people asked the Imam specifically Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, when people asked him, how do we know it is Maghrib? He said, it is known through you look at the east, and if you don't see the reflection of the sun, the redness in the east, reflection meaning the redness that the sun causes in the east, that's when we determine that it is Maghrib, or it is sunset. Now, Siyam, it was, there are suggestions that initially it was not prescribed for the full month of Ramadan. However, regardless, as we know it today, it was prescribed at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the ayah regarding that is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. As we always remind mu'minina mu'minat, it is introduced through the Quran, the month of Quran. Then he says, whoever witnesses the month, therefore they should fast. فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصوم. So this was the ayah that prescribed the fasting in the month of Ramadan. Another ayah says that fasting has been prescribed upon you like it was prescribed on other nations before you, عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ, so that you may have achieve taqwa, piety, God-wariness, and so on. So this is, in brief, the reference to fasting in the Holy Quran. Muslims, Sunni and Shia, all Muslims, different sects, they all acknowledge the fact that this is one of the obligatory acts. Fasting is one of the obligatory acts, and generally speaking, the things that are that would void one's fasting, or that are not permissible during the time of fasting, are the same. Now, I say generally speaking because there are some differences between sects and scholars, in fact within sects, on certain things, whether they void fasting or not. But generally it is the same. So we have the first and the second one. Normally they say eating and drinking. The main thing is the appearance, or the surface of fasting is clear, made clear with the abstination from food and drinking. Any kind of drinking and any kind of food that enters the body, whether it enters from the mouth or the nose, if one is to put some drops, for example, or if the drops in the eye end up in the digestive system. Then also that would apply. Or if they enter the digestive system from any other way. Our scholars are a little, we do have some differences between scholars on injections into the blood, basically in the veins. Whether something like the fluids that are injected in the hospitals and so on, the IV or things of that nature, if they avoid fasting, one of our greatest maraja today, Atlas Sistani, most people today do follow him. He does not consider that to be voiding one's fast. And some people say, but this is nutrition. This is, you could give nutrition and fluids, the hydration and nutrition. And so how could that be? And I often tell people, if somebody is at that point where they are hospitalized and they need that kind of nutrition or fluids, if they choose to fast by abstaining from eating and drinking while they have that, by all means, that's to that level. I mean, who's going to put the IV or fluids through in their body in that manner unless they're in that situation, if the doctors obviously allow them to fast, because if they're not allowed for health reasons, then they cannot be fasting. So drinking any kind of fluids, so it's not like intermittent fasting where you only abstain from carbs. No, it is full fasting where you cannot drink and you cannot eat or consume anything. In fact, the drinking aspect is the more difficult one. These are the very obvious ones. Also, indulging basically in marital pleasures, and by that I mean actually, not just touching but actually getting into basically intercourse, if you wish. That is not allowed during the time of fasting. It voids one's fasting, or any other way of reaching that point for men or women. It would also void one's fasting. One of the things that also voids fasting is to lie against God or the Messenger and Ahlul Bayt by extension, meaning fabrication of some lie. Knowingly saying something that God says this or the Prophet said this when they have not. This also voids fasting. How are we going with time?
We have another
couple of minutes.
2 minutes or 3 minutes.
And then we have the youth, inshallah, the dialogue, hadith dialogue, inshallah. So, lying against God and the Messenger and Ahlul Bayt by extension is also, it's haram in general. It's any time it's not allowed. I mean, this, according to the hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, whoever lies or fabricates something against that I have not said and lies in that sense, then they should consider their place in hellfire. فَلْيَتَبَوَّأْ مَقْعَدَهُ مِنَ النَّارِ. So that is in fact one of the worst things. I mean, if you lie against anyone, if I say to you that anybody said so and so or did so and so when they did not, any kind of lie is bad. How bad would it be if one goes as far as lying about what God has said or the Messenger have said? That's obviously way worse than that. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So that is these are muftarat, some of the muftarat. Any questions about them? inshallah. We'll continue the muftarat in the coming weeks. We'll conclude this session for now, inshallah. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل والحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وآل Yes.
I heard this in